high was a black man. Ground where we stand with the flag held in our hand was first a red man. Got on a ship on a first Columbus ship was a brown man. Dude, where does it go? Through railroads and trains, and on trackers that was laid by the yellow man. Ooh, we pledge allegiance all our life to the magic colors red, blue, and white. But we must all be given the liberty that we defend. For with justice not for all men, history will repeat again. It's time we learn. This world was made for all men. Ow! One of my favorites from the album Fulfilling His First Finale. Oh, Stevie. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Fulfilling His First Finale. That was damn. As. What's one as on there? As the sun round the sunny earth knows she's real. Y'all help me out. If y'all can't remember, put the album in the it was my favorite Stevie album. In fact, I think Isn't She Lovely? That was on there. Come on, y'all. Help me out, family. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, family. I missed y'all. And I want to welcome you to the mental house. I've been making plans, just making plans, family, trying to get things right. Trying to get things right. However, y'all know one of my favorite YouTube shows, actually it's a serious radio program, is Karen Hunter. My sister is too crazy, okay? And it's where you go to get profound information. It's and I think she does an excellent job with her podcast. Well, she had a woman on her show that talked about, and I've heard this before because I was an advocate of, and that's how it was brought up. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. But if the more I had a person tell me who would be a person that most people would categorize as a misfit. She said, you would think that all the beatings we got coming up would have made us realize that that's not the way to go, because we still did what we were going to do. We just hid it. And we should have knew our parents were out of control the way they was beating us with ironing cords and anything they could get their hands on. My father hit you in the head with a skillet. I mean, it didn't really matter. And all those things are abusive. But a lot of us don't want to talk about that because they hit too close to home, right? But anyway, she went on to talk about a guest that she had on her show that did a book about us whipping our children. But that's neither here nor there. There's a clip that I want you to see regarding a troll that called her and thought he was about to get off, but she clapped back at him so hard, y'all. I ain't never heard a read like this in my life. And so I want to share it with you, and I want Karen to, again, this is the Karen Hunter Show, and I want to share this with y'all for educational purposes. Let's just put it like that. Okay, come on, Karen.
Vestiges of enslavement and how black people are, carrying forward the, enslaved mentality, the overseer mentality, the plantation mentality of how we treat these black bodies. But then there's a sexual awakening when you particularly paddle a child on their buttocks and all of the nerves and how it's right to the. I mean, she broke that down. I said, oh, okay, we can't be putting our hands on our children.
Oh, so okay. I heard that one.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna have her back on because we need to have this conversation, and I may drop it in a podcast as well. But initially I was like combative. Well, I got my ass whooped at least twice that I could, because I remember it, and I was like, I don't want that to happen again. So therefore, I'm going to figure out how to dupe these parents of mine into not doing this anymore. I'm not going to stop my behavior, but I'm going to make sure that they don't know that I'm doing the things. But I changed my mind with better information, and I've grown into an understanding of why, and it's uncomfortable because those of us who have, but I bring her up because while she's against putting hands on folk, her verbal skills,
Right.
So somebody was trying to comfort her on, and I don't even know what the origin was, but they, I don't know which one do I start with. Okay, here we go. So somebody named Daz Mason said, "Notice you're all effing black, racist, horrible people. You should have stayed in Africa. World would have been a better place." This is what this guy tweeted. Stacey Patton, she said, "Daz Mason, let's talk about where Europeans should have stayed instead of rampaging across the world like a disease-ridden horde of thieves, rapists, and genocidal maniacs. They should have stayed in their own cold, famine-ridden, plague-infested lands, scratching lice out of their scalps and perfecting the fine art of defecating in their drinking water. They should have stayed in their drafty castles and mud huts, cultivating a rich tradition of inbreeding and witch burnings. They should have kept on impaling enemies on spikes for sport, boiling people alive in cauldrons, torturing peasants with iron maidens, breaking wheels and flaying knives just to hear them scream. They should have fixed their filthy medieval streets where disease-ridden mothers abandoned babies in gutters to be eaten by rats and fathers sold their daughters into child brothels to survive another winter. They should have stayed put, burning midwives as witches, bloodletting themselves to death, and stacking infant corpses like firewood. They should have kept hacking off noses and ears as punishments, crucifying prisoners, hanging children for minor offenses, castrating, fighting over scraps of moldy bread, feasting on rotting meat, crawling with maggots and using urine to wash their clothes while they painted themselves as the pinnacle of civilization. They should have kept drowning babies in rivers, marrying off 12-year-old girls to syphilic noblemen, maybe bathe more than once a year. The world didn't need European, quote, civilization. They should have stayed rotting in their own filth, killing each other over imaginary divine rights. But no. They just had to spread across the planet like a horde of locusts. And
Now hold on, people, hold on. I'm sorry, my Caucasian brothers and sisters. She just gave you y'all history in a nutshell. And you can't deny it. No, you can't deny it. You can't face it, and you can't deal with it. You rather have us deal with anything than to deal with who you are. But in the last days, I think the scripture talks about the garment will be raised, and people will show your shame. And we at that day, because this woman just described y'all perfectly of who you are and what you have done throughout the planet. Throughout the planet. And that's where the healing starts. The healing can't start nowhere unless it start there with y'all collectively. Because we can do the work individually. But collectively, y'all a problem to y'all self. Let's continue.
and powdered wigs, massacring indigenous people, stealing lands, enslaving millions, rewriting history to cast themselves as heroes, and then having the sheer fucking audacity to tell black people where we should have stayed. The world would have been a better place if Europeans had stayed in Europe and left Africa, the Americans, Asia, and the Pacific Islands uncolonized, unraped, and unpillaged. You unwashed chicken. Breath smell, generational inbreeding. You are the inbred afterbirth of failed conquerors that should have ended up in a damp European gutter centuries ago.
Oh my God.
Thoughts and prayers, Roderick.
Points were made.
Mm-hmm. Points were made.
Points were made.
Points were made.
And I think our favorite line was unwashed chicken. She said a lot of greatness, but
Yeah, the unwashed chicken.
That really hit
That
me
landed with me
somewhere.
too.
Okay.
That landed with me too. Wait. So, but after this diatribe, do I call it a diatribe? Is that the word of the day? A diatribe? Because I was gonna be. It's gonna be another word. But let me see, because I feel like diatribe is a negative word. Let me look this up, because I feel like you use diatribe, but I feel like this was a diatribe. Diatrib, because tribe is right there. Oh, no, this was a diatribe, a forceful and bitter verbal attack against someone. This was a diatribe.
She diatribed his ass.
She diatribed it. Took the tribe and she killed it. She died it. Diatribe. Okay. So somebody had the audacity to say something back to her.
What? After that?
Yes. So some lady decided.
You know what that? You know what that is?
Wait a
That
minute, they don't get it. Like, cause you know. I'm sorry, y'all. Ooh. Oh God. And white folks, the fragile ones, is so not used to being checked that when they feel like they have to defend their racist viewpoints or they ingrained, insane white supremacy ideology, then you'll hear somebody defending it in a whole different realm because they can't face what they are hearing. And I want you to just take notice of this, and maybe some of our, counterparts who have been doing the work, they can tell us how to communicate if we need to, because otherwise we ain't got nothing to say to y'all. And this is because part of your fragility, and part of because you can't have a conversation. You really can't, because you can't deal with who you are. We have to deal with who we are. In fact, we know who we are. But y'all won't even. That's why you have to burn the books. See, that's why you got to do all that kind of craziness, because you can't deal with who you are. So, and what you've been to the human family, you can't deal with it. But if that wasn't enough, this lady had to get her 2 cents in. Check it out.
is the verbal equivalent. If you've ever seen a Bruce Lee movie, and when Bruce Lee gives somebody like the nunchuck treatment, and everybody who's ever watched the action movie goes, okay, now why would the next guy step up by himself like he got some? Like, everyone should be running the other way at this point.
Yeah.
And in the movies you go, that's illogical, but it's a movie. This is real life, and somebody was like, I think I could take the chucks.
Yes. Okay, so this lady, of course.
Okay.
We go. Well, her name is Terry. Terry Ann.
Okay.
Terry Ann had to come in. Stacey Patton, you sound angry! Exclamation point. Voters voted for Trump Vance to put an end to the insanity. ... And they are doing what they promised. For perspective, perhaps you should deep dive into the truth of the atrocities committed by Democrats.
Oh my God.
Now, let me just pause. There's a lot of conversation about with Democrats. Nowhere in this diatribe did Stacey Patton mention a single Democrat.
No, she's nothing about politics, political affiliation. She didn't even say anything about Republicans, if you're being real.
Nothing. The fact that Terry Ann took this diatribe and was like, I voted for Trump. So she's talking about me?
Right.
Here's the problem. And this is what I want to just tell all of the folk out there who want to ban books. Shout out to Abbott Elementary. What a great episode. All the people that want to ban books, what you're saying is that you are relating to the horrible people. And you don't have to relate to the horrible people, because as you remind us all the time, your folk came through Ellis Island, or you didn't enslave anybody. So why do you want people to not know about it unless you are in alignment with the mentality that enslaved and did the Trail of Tears and genocide and all? Why are you in alignment with the villain in the story when you don't have to be? Miss Terry Ann didn't have to come into this. She could have minded her old happy ass Republican Trump voting ass business and not get involved, but she decided to.
She wanted a shot at them chucks. Bruce Lee with the. She said, Bruce Lee ain't that sweet. I done took some Taebo classes.
No, but the fact that you're gonna come with, you sound angry. So let me just say this too, and we want to, it is the angry knock, particularly against black women, is because they want us to shut up.
Right.
So you're angry, you're aggressive. So right. I had a professor. So I was up for tenure when I had to go meet with a different board, and I didn't realize what tenure was. I just thought of it as job security. And then when I was like, oh, you have to be published. I have 8 New York Times bestsellers. I've published. I thought I was a perfect candidate to have tenure in a department that is media driven. And most of my books are memoirs, which is a form of interview and extraction and writing at a high level. But they told me it wasn't scholarly work, so I was like, oh, this is a different kind of so y'all not really trying to teach any kind of depth here. All right. But I had to meet with several people, and I said to one of the guys, I know that I'm going to be given tenure. I'm going to need to know why. He went back and said I threatened him.
Whoa.
I said, wait, what? That was threatening? And in my mind, I was like, okay. Well, I did.
Right.
Wow. All right. Note to self. Okay. They're looking to be victims
when you
of...
walked in, did you, you
Wow. And that's just about the size of it. Oh, family. Oh, family. Oh, family. Aside from that, fam, when what you just heard, please help me out. Was that one of the best reads you ever heard at a clapback against a racist, white supremacist? Did she put the history in a nutshell? And then you see how the other lady just tried to gaslight you into taking the conversation somewhere else. Can you imagine generation after generation trying to talk to people like that? I just can't do it no more. I can't. It's not like that. And then the day of the master slave is over. It really is. Because we carry too much pain in our DNA from our ancestors. And to continue to keep dealing with people who can deal with themselves, it's like, that's why you see a lot of people quiet since the election. Now, I realize we got a lot of work to do. But I'm glad this sleeping giant is waking up. And to God be the glory. So, with that being said, I want to know what y'all think about it. And if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe and share my channel. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.